Welcome back, marketers. Today we are not just looking at luxury, we are decoding it. If you want to build a social media strategy for a brand like Chanel, you cannot just rely on your gut feeling. You need data. You need a map. So today I'm going to teach you how to use the very famous search AI tool, Perplexity, to do the market survey. I'm going to show you the 7-step Brand Audit Framework. We will use Perplexity to dissect Chanel's positioning, audience, and competition. Let's dive in now. So the phase 1 is the brand code. Before we create content, we must understand the DNA. Here is the first prompt. We are not just asking what is Chanel, we are asking about the balance between heritage and modernity. So we copy paste the prompt here. So this prompt is define the brand positioning of Chanel in the 2024 to 2025 luxury market. Summarize its value proposition, brand personality, and tone of voice in 5 to 7 bullet points. Specifically highlight how it balances heritage, Gabriel Chanel's legacy, with modernity for younger consumers. Okay, let's look at the result. The AI has correctly identified Chanel's core strategy as a paradox. Look at the first paragraph. It describes Chanel as heritage-rich yet carefully modernized. This is a key. On one hand, they sell the myth, Gabriel Chanel, the treat, the camellias. That is the forever promise. On the other hand, they use beauty and fragrance as the entry point for Gen Z. So when we plan our content, we must balance these two words, the legend for the dream and the lipstick for the traffic. And about the tone of voice, there is a really important part you have to know. And for the social media planning, I want you to look at the tone of voice section. The AI describes it as restrained, poetic, and precise. This is crucial. Chanel is not your best friend. Unlike other brands, they use emojis, reply to every comment, or jump on every meme trend. Chanel maintains an aloof authority. They don't check. They declare. They don't use slang. They use poetic narratives. So, in your plan, do not propose a strategy where Chanel reply to users with OMG, love this. No, they keep their distance. That distance is the luxury. So Chanel's engaged strategy isn't about conversation. It's about aspiration. We are here to create desire, not to make friends. Keep that in mind as we move to the next prompt. Next, we look at the product portfolio. Let me copy paste the prompt here. So in this session, we need to know what brings people in. We ask AI to identify the hero products versus the entry-level products, and such as beauty and eyewear. Remember, social media often sells the dream through lipstick, not just the maybe $100,000 bags. So let me enter it. Okay, now prompt 2 helps us build a product strategy. Look at this contrast. It's fascinating. On one side, we have leather goods sitting at the ultra luxury price point, $9,000 to $12,000 US dollars. On the other side, we have beauty and eyewear positioned as affordable luxury. Why does this matter for your marketing plan? Because you are essentially managing two different brands under one logo. One is exclusive, the other is accessible. Gen Z might not be able to afford a classic flat bag yet, but they can afford Coco, Madame Monsieur, or a lipstick. These are the entry doors. So when we plan our content calendar, we use the bags to build the dream, the halo, but we use the beauty products to generate the traffic and the first purchase. Specifically, notice how the AI highlights the chance fragrance line. It says it's used to target Gen Z with playful digital-first campaigns. This tells us that our content for fragrance can be more colorful, more dynamic, and a bit more fun. But our content for black bags, they must stay serious and timeless. Different product, different vibes. So to summarize Chanel's product portfolio, the iconic handbags are the myth builders. They justify the high price. The beauty products are the cash cows and the consumer acquisition tools. Your social media plan needs to sell the dream with the bags. So people come in to buy the souvenir, the lipstick. That is the ecosystem. Okay, now we are going to the phase 2, the battlefield. And marketing doesn't happen in a vacuum. We need to know the trends. So I'm asking the AI for the top 3 to 5 market trends in 2025. This is really crucial because you have to know the latest news, okay? And for each trend, I asked the AI try to explain the specific marketing implication for Chanel's content strategy. Let's enter it. Okay, so moving on to the prompt 3's result, the market trends. This is where many marketers get it wrong. They see a trend and they blindly follow it. But look at what the AI says about Chanel. It is less about chasing every trend and more about selectively encoding them. This is brilliant. Chanel doesn't jump on a bandwagon unless it fits their story. Let's look at the top 3 trends. The first one is quiet luxury. The market is moving away from giant logos and phrasing. What does this mean for your content plan? It means we need cinematic passing and a savoir-faire close-up. Instead of showing a logo, show the stitching. Show the thread fabric. The AIs call this soft branding. Your content should whisper quality, not short status. The trend number 2, sustainability. But be careful here. Chanel doesn't do green marketing like a fast fashion brand. The AI suggests long-form storytelling about repair and aftercare. Why? Because for luxury, sustainability means longevity. It frames the purchase as an investment. So plan content that shows a bag being repaired or passed down. It proves the price tag is worth it. Next trend is Gen Z. Yes, we use a digital platform, but read this carefully. Drive boutique visit rather than e-commerce conversation. This is critical distinction. For Chanel, Instagram is the trailer, the boutique is the movie. So we don't just want them to click add to cart. We want customer to walk into the store. So your digital content must promise an experience that can only happen offline. Okay, now we are going to find out who we are fighting again. Okay, let me copy paste the prompt here now. We asked for 5 direct competitors. Notice how I asked specifically about their social media style. Okay, prompt 4 is about differentiation. We know the big names, Dior, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, but look at the indirect competitors, Rolex, Cartier, Saint Laurent. This is interesting. It tells us that Chanel isn't just competing for fashion span. They are competing for investment status. They are playing in the same league as hard luxury watches. So now we are looking at the visual asset on Instagram. This is the gold mine for content creators. The AI makes a brilliant distinction here. It says Chanel's feed is cinematic and has museum-like comprehension. It feels like film frames, black and white, tweed, pearls. Contrast that with Dior or Gucci. Their feeds are described as magazine-like, bolder colors, denser collage, more street style. So if you want to design for Chanel, do not make it busy. Keep it clean. Keep it monochrome. Make it look like a movie, not a catalog. Let's look at the engage strategy. Competitors like Louis Vuitton are aggressive. They have shoppable formats, gaming tie-ins, and high-frequency reels. They want you to buy now. But Chanel, the AI used a beautiful phrase, intimacy at a distance. They use social media for storytelling, not for the hard sell. They give you backstage access, but they don't shove a buy now button in your face. It's about building the myth, not filling the funnel. So now we are going to the next phase, the phase 3, the audience. This is the most important part. Who is Chanel woman or Chanel man? We are looking for psychographics, not just demographics. We want to know the pain points and motivation. So now I'm going to pass the question 5. And this prompt is identify the primary target audience of Chanel, focusing on both the classic client and the Gen Z aspirant. Describe them using demographics, psychographics, and behaviors. What are their key psychological motivation? For example, like social signaling, investment, and pain points, like price accessibility. Okay, let me click. Okay, prompt 5 give us the human element, and look at this. It describes a tale of two cities. Chanel isn't targeting just one type of person. They are juggling two completely different archetypes. On the left, we have the classic client, the high net worth individual. On the left, the Gen Z aspirant, the digital native. Your marketing plan must address both. but their psychological triggers are completely different. So first, let's look at the classic client. She is 30 to 50, wealthy, global. Why does she buy? The AI says investment and legacy logic. She needs the bags as an asset, an heirloom. But look at the pain point. This is fascinating. Escalating prices and perceived overheating. Even wealthy clients get frustrated when price jump too high, too fast. They feel their loyalty isn't rewarded. So content for this group must reassure them of the value and the craftsmanship to justify that price tag. Okay, so next we're going to talk about the Gen Z. So flip to the Gen Z aspirant. She's 60 to 28. She cannot afford a bag yet, so she buys the lipstick. Why? The AI mentioned it. A shortcut to sophisticated adulthood. Buying Chanel is a rite of passage for her. But here is the great critical insight for social media. Her pain point is intimidation. She feels the boutique is scary. She feels she might not belong. There is where your content comes in. Your social media needs to be the welcoming community. It needs to feel inclusive and accessible to break down that fear. So here's the strategy. For the classic client, your content is about reassurance, confirming that Chanel is still the top investment. For Gen Z, your content is an invitation, telling them you belong here. Start with the lipstick. 2 audience, 2 messages, 1 brand. Okay, finally, phase 4, the social media strategy. Where do they live? We ask which platforms are most relevant. So this part is we have to understand what kind of thing we have to do. So the 6th prompt, we discuss about the platform. Okay, let me copy paste it. Okay, so the prompt is which social media are most relevant for Chanel's target audience and why? Analyze the role of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So suggest the top content format. For example, like Reels, Shorts, high fidelity campaigns, and things best suited for each. Prompt 6. Answer the question, where do we pray? The AI identifies the big 3, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. But don't just post the same video everywhere. Look at how the AI define their roles. It's perfect ecosystem. So the first, Instagram. The AI calls it Brand Temple. This is your digital flagship store. It must be polished, no messy edits, no low quality photo. Whether it's a reel of the runway or a photo of a bag, it must look expensive. This is where the classic client checks if you are still relevant and where Gen Z dreams of their first purchase. Next, the TikTok. This is where Chanel is very smart. The AI knows they are more cautious than Gucci or Dior. They focus on more short video, and this kind of video has a lot of different celebrity to attract the audience, the younger generation, to connect with Chanel. But notice they don't do silly dance. They keep the mystery even on TikTok. Next, YouTube. YouTube, just like the myth builder, the brand's library. So the AI says YouTube is for deep brand storytelling and to justify pricing. This is where the content creators put a long time documentary about how the hat is made. It appeals to the classic client who love history, for example, like the playlist Inside Chanel. If Instagram is the trailer, YouTube is the full movie. It provides more why a bag costs US $10,000. So here's your platform strategy. Use Instagram to maintain the image. Use TikTok to hook the youth. Use YouTube to educate the investor. 3 platforms, 3 distinct jobs. Okay, another prompt under the phase 4, the social media strategy. We are going to explore the content audit. So we are asked AI to analyze the currently the post or the general vibe. So let me copy paste the prompt. So this part, I asked the AI to analyze Chanel's recent social media presence, focusing on the last 3 months. Identify dominant content type, for example, like runway, or showing the product, or displaying the celebrity, visual consistency, and tone. What are the engagement pattern? Are users complaining about anything in the comments or pressing specific elements? Let's try this prompt. This is the final step, the reality check. Prompt 7 asks the AI to audit the last 3 months. Look at what they found. The spine of Chanel's content is the runway. Everything revolves around the shows. Product shots are just move-rich vignettes woven. This tells us Chanel is an event-driven brand. If you are planning their calendar, you build around the shows, not around random holidays. Now let's look at the engagement on the service is growing. The AI mentions stand style price driven by celebrity like Margot Robbie or K-pop stars. This is the halo effect working perfectly. People are commenting gorgeous and obsessed with that. Visually, brand is winning. The outer feel is intact. But here's the lesson. We have to focus. You must look deeper because the AI font, the background noise, while the Instagram comments are full of hearts and border discussions on Reddit or forums are complaining about price hikes and quality issues. Acme's price, lower quality. That is a dangerous statement. So what do? We don't delete the comments. We counter this narrative by doubling down on content that proves craftsmanship. We need to show why it costs that much to silence the doubt. Let's talk about the tone of voice. Finally, look at the tone again. No meme language, even when they invite you to a show, is a narrative, not a promo. This confirms our strategy from step 1. Chanel stays distant. Chanel stays poetic. Consistency is their superpower. So, and there you have it. 7 prompts. One comprehensive strategy from the brand DNA to the product pyramid to the platform ecosystem, and finally, the reality check. You now have a roadmap that is data-driven, not just a guess. Copy-paste the prompts under the video information, try it for your brand, and start building strategies that actually work.